given to Shaitan. Oh, you who believe, please give thanks to Allah. Allahu Ghafoor.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the ever-existing being that has been existing before the existence of existence. When he wanted existence to exist, he created existence and told existence that I want you to exist. But while you are existing, he said, I shall continue to exist. And it shall come to a time that you shall cease to exist, and I shall continue to exist. كل شيء فاني إلا الله باقي قل لا الملك الملك تؤتي الملك من تشاء وتنزع الملك ممن تشاء وتعز من تشاء وتذل من تشاء بيدك الخير إنك على كل شيء قدير تولج الليل في النهار وتولج النهار في الليل وتخرج الحي من الميت وتخرج الميت من الحي وترزق من تشاء بغير حساب. Once again, you are welcome to this auspicious program, Tag DEEN Lifestyle, on Citizen FM 93.7. And I still remain yours, Olayode Abdurazak, aka Philosopher King. MashaAllah, it's another beautiful Friday, and I hope most of us that are listening to me that are Muslims must have prayed. Yes, if you must have prayed like me, Jumat prayer, very, very important. Yeah, it's very, very important. If you have prayed, mashallah, barakallahu fi. And if you have not prayed, I think quite alright, if you are within Abuja and its environs, there are still other places that have not still prayed. You can still join up and pray Jumat. May Allah make it easy for us and accept it as an act of ibadah. Alright, today, as we said, thank God it's Friday. You know, when we say thank God it's Friday, that word is so pregnant, like very, very big word, you know, until when you know what it means. Do you know why they say thank God it's Friday? Okay, I think I've said it once on this program, but I want to say it again today. You see, anytime, you know, it is assumed, it has been claimed that the world is going to come to an end today, on Friday. You know, if the world wants to come to an end, it's going to be on Friday. And this Friday, you know, if it did not come to an end until after Jumat, meaning that if they pray Jumat like this, it means that the world will not come to an end that day. Yes, so that is why we always say thank God it's Friday. Do you get that? And you know quite right, the Yorubas, they have one particular way they greet people on Friday. They say Eku Ewujimo. Ewujimo, meaning that they are greeting people like, oh, thank God we are saved. The world is not the world did not come to an end today. So it's that way. That's why they used to greet people like that. Thank God it's Friday, you know, things like that. So alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, we always thank Allah for giving us this opportunity to live for another week. You see now, for another week. Yeah, that is the whole world. But each and every one of us is given another opportunity to live and to live and to live again. So because this opportunity is being given to us, we're now looking at it today. That what are we going to talk about? Let's look at QURANOLOGY. Yes, the topic is QURANOLOGY, and that is the study of the Quran. You see, most times we have been saying it, yes, the Quran is to be studied. You see, you don't just read the Quran without studying the Quran. When you read the Quran, you are equally studying. You know, when you read, you must study. And when you study the Quran, the next thing for you is to live the Quran. So you see, read the Quran, study the Quran, and do what? And live the Quran. So now, why are we talking about studying the Quran? We look at it that in most instances, you see, why we are having religious issues here and there is because even we, the Muslims, did not even study the Quran. Even the non-Muslim did not study the Quran. So when you don't know other people's religion, it will be very hard for you to respect their religion. And most times, even we that are Muslims, those of us that are Muslim, we don't even understand what the Quran says in some areas. So because of that, we are also ignorant, and we can act ignorantly because we don't understand it. So most times it's very important that we study the Quran. We see what is in this Quran. You see, the Quran is a book, and it's not just a book, it is a book that there is no doubt therein. And that's why they call the Quran Al-Kitab. You see, it's a book. It's a book. The Quran has so many names. So when they say it's a book, it's not just ordinary book that you own. It's a book that has no doubt. You know, when you look at Quran chapter 2, ayah 1 and 2, when it said Alif La Mim, it says Zalikal Kitabu La Rahiba Fi. You see, this is the book, La Rahiba Fi, that there is no any doubt in it. You will not come inside that book and see any doubt. So that's what we'll be looking at. We'll be looking at the Quran, and we'll be looking at chapters and verses of the Quran, what they say, so that we can be able to study on our own. So I will give you the verses, I will give you the chapters, you know, then you see them, then you say, oh, Allah even said this in the Quran, then you will study the Quran. When you study the Quran, it is expected that you now start living the Quran. Yes, because it is not still expedient, or it is not also good for you to study the Quran, and we cannot find a element, you know, we cannot find that Quran inside you. You don't live it, you know, you don't live the Quran. We can't see it inside you. When people come to you, they don't see that you are knowledgeable, or you have studied the Quran, that you are a believer, that you are a Muslim. You know, all those things goes out of you while you even study the Quran. See, the person that studied the Quran, the person that studied the Quran and did not live the Quran, or the person that did not even study the Quran and did not live the Quran, you can see there is no difference. May Allah make it easy for us. I could remember a brother that become Muslims one time, Yusuf Islam. I could remember when he was giving a speech, and he said, thank God that he studied the Quran before he become a Muslim. You can see that it is also very expedient that you study the Quran. I said it's called different name. It's also called the Al-Furqan. Al-Furqan is the differentiator, you know, the criterion. You know, the criterion is the one that differentiate between right and wrong. That is the Quran. It is also called al-zikr. It's al-zikr. Al-zikr means the reminder, you know, that always remind you often. Always remind you often. فَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَ تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. That is what the Quran does. That's what, if you look at Quran chapter 1, Quran chapter 15, ayah 9, Quran chapter 15, ayah 9, you will see the Quran as al-zikr. You also look at the Quran, it's also called al-udda. You know, the Quran is called al-udda. And what does al-udda mean? It means that gives guidance, you know, the guidance. This one that guides you towards doing what is right. It's like a compass, you know, it's like a compass, or like a map, like a navigator, you know, that gives you the path in which you go through. If you look at Quran chapter 3, ayah 4, you will see that the Quran is called al-udda in that instances. Now let's look at the Quran and see what did the Quran. Let's study the Quran together. Let's see what the Quran says in so many places. We can start looking from Quran chapter 2. Let's start from Surah Al-Baqarah. Let's start from Surah Al-Baqarah. So look at the Quran. You look at, if you are home, you can check the Quran, you can Google, you can write down so that you can study better. You know, that is why it is QURANOLOGY. Study the Quran. Now let's do some studying together. Now, do not mix the truth with falsehood. Quran says that. Do not mix the truth with falsehood. You can see that in Quran chapter 2, ayah 42. Do not mix the truth with falsehood. Allah, let us understand that. Do you see that? Allah also say in Quran chapter 2, ayah 44, that order righteousness to people and also do what? Practice it. You know, it has tell that when you order righteousness, when you tell people to do good, also try as much as possible to also do good. So you don't just say you are telling people to do good and you are not doing good. No. You don't do that. You have to also do good. You see that? So Allah also say in the Holy Quran, when He talked in that Baqarah, in Quran chapter 2, ayah 170, Allah said, do not follow anyone blindly. do not follow anyone blindly. You can see that in Quran chapter 2, ayah 170. You see, this world of today, you just follow people, you just, the way you follow people, look at, I'm not talking about this following that you follow on Instagram, you follow me, I follow you. That is where the world is going now. You follow me, I follow you. But you see, now look at this election time that we are. People just follow anybody. I'm voting for this, I'm voting for that, blindly. And the Quran has told us about following anybody blindly. If you want to follow somebody, you ask some necessary questions and you are convinced of what you are doing. You don't just follow people blindly like that. Yeah. When you look at the Quran again, still Quran chapter 2, look at ayah 177. Allah let us understand that you do not break promises. You don't do what? You don't break promises. Now look at, let's just take it again from our politics. Let's take it from our politics. Look at from our politics, the politicians will give promises here and there, and until when they now come in, some people will follow their promises, some people will not abide to their promises. Let's look at parents and children. Some people will promise, they will not do. Let's look at relationship. Your relationship with one another. What do you promise that you did not fulfill? The Quran warned you. Quran chapter 2, ayah 177. Say, when you do promises, you do what? You keep to your promises. You see, there are three signs of hypocrite. If you don't keep to your promises, it means you are an hypocrite. The Prophet let us understand, ayatu munafikum salasa, iza adasa kasiba, wa iza wa'ada khalafa, wa iza tumina ana. You see, one of the sign of an hypocrite is that when he promises, he fails his promise. So this is what the Quran has told us. When you study the Quran, you'll be very careful about what you promise and what you don't promise. Now let's look at Quran chapter 2, ayah 188. What is that one saying? That one says that you do not engage in bribery. You see, bribery and corruption is what is killing us today. It's killing us from top bottom, so you don't engage in it, meaning that you don't give and you don't take. Quran chapter 2, ayah 188. You see, you don't give and you don't take. So this is what the Quran is telling us. So when you look at that ayah very well, study it, then you'll be able to take yourself off. You see, you have seen the effect of bribery and corruption today, and we are not happy the way things are going. So until and unless we start living the Quran, until and unless we study the Quran, we live the Quran, we'll have a balanced life. If we don't, this life will still keep complaining today, we still clamoring tomorrow. There are still up and down in people's life. It's just because we are not living the Quran. And that is why the Quran is al-udda. It's here to do what? To guide you. So let's look at another ayah again. Yeah, look at this one. It talks about protecting the orphans. When you look at Quran chapter 2, ayah 220. Quran 2, ayah 220 talks about the orphans, that you should protect the orphans. You see, you don't just take their thing, you don't take what is given to an orphan, because they are small, because they are still minor, and want them to grow up, then give them their father property, and before you know it, you just squander the property. Either you leave them alive, or you ignore them, or you take them off this life so that you can enjoy the properties of their father. The Quran has told us that protect the orphans. Yes, protect the orphans. Let's look at another one. Yeah, look at this one in Quran chapter 2, ayah 222. Quran 2, ayah 222. This say, do not have sexual intercourse during menstrual period. Look at this. Very, very, very important and very, very vital information. Some people don't know this. During menstrual period, you don't do what? Have sexual intercourse with your wife. Now, Quran has literally, that is why it is a way of life. It is a way of life. And if Allah says you should not do, Allah is the most wise, is the Alimun Hakim, is the most knowledgeable and the most wise. So if Allah now say this, which idea do you think you have outside Allah's own idea? So when you look at Quran chapter 2, ayah 222, that is where Allah let us understand that you don't do what? You don't have sexual intercourse during menstrual period with your wife. Now, let me look at this. Quran chapter 2, ayah 233. 2 ayah 233. What is this one is saying? It's saying that breastfeed your children for 2 years, completely 2 years. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Quran 2, ayah 233 says that breastfeed your child for what? For 2 years. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. If Allah says this, who has other ideas? Most times today, you just breastfeed your children 6 months. Oh, some people 3 months. In fact, it's too much, Abi. Okay, you see, 3 months is even too much. Some people, when they just give birth, they just leave breastfeeding and start La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Quran chapter 2, ayah 233 says that breastfeed your child for good 2 years. And there are so many advantages in doing that. So many advantages. Today, a child doesn't have pity for his parent. They don't have sympathy for their parent. You see a child killing his parent. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. These are instances. And because we fail to live by the Quran, because we fail to study the Quran so that we can live by the Quran, so that we can understand the import of the Quran, this is where we are failing. And now, this is what the Quran has said, 2 years. 2 years. And you see, yes, I know quite well that the medical lines, the doctors today have started approving 2 years breastfeeding, and they're telling us this is the best, this is the best. It's already embedded in the Quran for so long it has been there. And you see, it's just because we don't really follow the Quran. So may Allah make it easy for us. Let's look at this again, still in Surah Al-Imran. Yeah, you can see if we study the Quran, we can't finish studying the Quran today, but you can see we're just in one surah and we are still having so many things to talk about. Yeah, what is this one saying? He's saying that no compulsion in religion. You don't make people, you don't compel people, no compulsion in religion. You don't make people, it is a must, you must be a Muslim, you must be a Christian, you must be this. There are instances where because you are not a Muslim or you are not a Christian, some benefit were taken off you. Some benefit are what they are taking off you. Oh, it's because of you are this, that's why you did not get this job. It's because of you, that's why I did not give you this. Fa'uzubillahi min zalik. This is what the Quran says. When you look at Quran chapter 2, ayah 256, is there that you should not do what? Compel people with your religion. Don't say, you say must, you must do what? You must be a Muslim. No. All right. Let's look at this one again. This one is very, very important. Look at Quran chapter 2, still in Baqarah, 280. Quran chapter 2, 280. What did it say? It said, grant more time to repay if your debtor is having hard time. La ilaha illallah. Did you get this? If your debtor is having hard time to pay back his debt, he said, grant him more time. Grant him more time. It is better for you. You see now, it is different from if your debtor refuses to pay debt. It is when your debtor is having hard time. He said, grant him or her more time to repay. Did you get this now? You know quite well that this person is really getting it hard to pay you. This person is not having it. This person has tried, things like that. You must see the sincerity, that this person is so sincere. Then you grant more time. Say, okay, what do you do? Okay, when do you think you can pay? When do you think you can pay? Just talk to me. When do you think you can pay? La ilaha illallah. This is Islam. This is living the Quran. This is living the Quran. You can get this in Quran chapter 2, ayah 280. You can read it up and study it and live by it. Until when you live by it, you don't say, oh, it's there to. Before you know, some people wait that the day has come. The first thing you will see is police. Oh, they will go and take soldier. And this person you are taking soldier, he doesn't have the money. Not that the person refuses to pay. There's a difference between that the person refuses to pay and the person doesn't have the money. You can see those things. He doesn't have the money and is having hard time. La ilaha illallah. The Quran advises us that we should do what? Grant more time to such debtors. Now look at this ayah 2. Let me talk about this one. Quran chapter 2, ayah 282. This one is talking about writing it down. You see, when you borrow somebody money, when there is a transaction between you and the other person, write it down. The Quran has already told us this. When you go to lawyers too, that's why they say write it down. They say they write agreement, they write contract, they write all this one. This is where Allah has said it. 282. Write it down so that tomorrow there wouldn't be any issues, there wouldn't be any problem again. May Allah make it easy for us. Yeah, when you look at another one, Quran chapter 2, ayah 283, this one is talking about trust. Trust. We don't trust each other. You see, who trusts you? Who do you trust? La ilaha illallah. Trust issue is even the hallmark of the problem that Nigeria is facing today. Yes, most of the citizens don't trust the government. When government say this today, and the citizens will just smile behind them and say, they'll just do their nose yimu for them. You know, this is because there is lack of trust. This is because there is lack of trust. Husband doesn't trust his wife. Wife doesn't trust husband. You know, the children doesn't trust their parents anymore. Even friends, hardly. Friends, they don't trust each other. They don't trust each other. They can't borrow each other money. They can't give each other their properties to hold. You know, when you say, okay, I'm traveling, can you just take care of this property for me till I come back? And before you come back, no property anymore. La ilaha illallah. The Quran says we should try as much as possible to keep trust. That is in Quran chapter 2, ayah 283. Yeah, you see, we need to study the Quran so that we can do what? Live by the Quran. So let's look at another one before we go to another surah. Yeah, this is backbiting. Yeah, Quran chapter 2, ayah 283 is still there. Do not spy and do not do what? Backbite. Do not spy and do not do what? Backbite. You can see this one now. Backbiting here and there. There's a place when he said, Wailun likulli uman sati luman sati. You see, you don't talk of somebody behind him, and even in his presence, you don't talk about him like that. The Prophet Sallam called the companions together, you know, and he was telling them that who can eat the flesh of his brother? That they just cut the flesh of his brother and eat it. Who can eat it? You know, all of them, it looked disgusting to them and say, no, Ya Rasulullah, Allah, I can't eat. What about you? I can't eat. What about you? I can't eat. All of them say nobody can eat it. Even you listening to me right now, you can't eat the flesh of your brother. If yes, he said anybody that is backbiting his fellow brother is like he's eating the flesh of his brother. This we see in so many places where people gather together. Some people are there backbiting. We see it in offices. You know, it's crumble offices. We see it in so many offices. They just go there and what they do is backbite here, backbite there. You know, it ruins relationship. It ruins your life. It reduces your integrity when you start doing that. And don't forget this one. This Englishman says, he who tells you about me must have told others about you as well. Did you hear this? He who tells you about me must have told others about you as well. So you have to be afraid of those people that come to backbite with you. You know, those that spy. Today I call another one technological spy. You know, this technology spy. Technology spy is the spy that you do when you discuss with somebody on social media, on WhatsApp. You now munch that chat and send to the person, look at what he said. Look at what he said. Munching chat and sending with an intention, you know, of spying or intention of backbiting, it is wrong. You know, this is why I call technological spying. You know, it goes beyond you coming to spy like that. But the Quran warns us. Yeah, when you look at Quran chapter 2, ayah 283, talks about that. Before I leave this ayah, okay, let's look at this one before I leave. That is the second to the last and the last ayah, which is Quran chapter 2, ayah 285 and 286. Yes, 285, when it's saying that you must believe in all the prophets. Believe in all the prophets. Prophet Jesus, believe in him. Prophet Moses, believe in him. Prophet Dawood, believe in him. Prophet Solomon, believe. All prophets. You must believe in all prophets. That is where the Quran says. Quran chapter 2, ayah 286. So 85. You must believe in all prophets. Then the last one, 286, now said that do not give any burden to anyone that is beyond him. Don't give anybody any load that the person cannot carry, any job that the person cannot do. You know, one job, 4 people, 4 people's job 10 people's job, one person is doing it. He gets exhausted, get back home. He cannot even take care of his family. He cannot even see his family. He cannot do the major function that he's supposed to do in the family. Then this start causing another hulabalu in his home. This home, as is having crash or crash, or hole in that hole, that one is also having another problem again in the society. You can see we don't even get where the root is coming from. The root of some problem is because of the burden that is putting on one person that is doing 10 people's job, because you don't want to employ other people, or because you just want to suffer one person, you just keep giving one person so job. You see, the Quran says, don't give anybody any burden, that is over him. And that is why Allah said he doesn't do that. La yukallifullahu nafsan illa usi'aha. Yeah, it is only what you can carry, it is only what you can withstand that Allah will do what? Will give you. So you can see, this is just Surah Al-Baqarah that we are looking at. That's the Quran chapter 2. And that is to tell you that Quranology is just an ability for you to study the Quran, look at the Quran, read the Quran, study the Quran, so that you can live the Quran. It is only when you study and live the Quran that you have a balanced life. That is the only way you can have a balanced life. And don't forget, we told you that the Quran is Al-Udda. That is the only guardian. That is the only compass for you. The Quran is also what? Is Al-Furqan. Is the differentiator. It differentiates what is right and what is wrong. So sometimes you may be doing what is wrong, but you don't know. Go study the Quran so that you can live the Quran. May Allah make it easy for us. We'll go for a short break now. When we come back, we're going to open the line so that you can call in, ask one or two questions. If you have clarification, you can call in to do that. If you have observation, you are equally free to do that, mashallah. And if there's no question, we still continue to do. We can still go to Surah Al-Imran, go to the third Quran chapter 3 again and start looking at what is the Quran saying. There are so many things that we're going to get from studying the Quran. And I hope if you study the Quran yourself, you get those chapters and verses I just gave out now. Study them yourself and start living the Quran, and you come back, call me one day and thank me and say, yes, I started studying the Quran and I've started living the Quran, and inshallah my life is a life of tranquility, a life of ataraxia, a peaceful life. This is just only when you understand the Quran and you live by it. May Allah make it easy for us, inshallah. Let's go for a short break. When we come back, we're going to open the line so they can call in and ask one or two questions. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah is Ghafoor, Allah is Rahim, Allah is the one who loves the Muhsinin. He is our creator, He is our sustainer, and He is the one who has power over all. Give thanks to Allah for the moon and the stars, praise Him all day for what is and what was. Take hold of your iman, don't give in to shaitan. Oh, you who believe, please give thanks to Allah. Allahu Ghafoor, Allahu Rahim, Allahu Yuhibbul Muhsin.
MashaAllah, you are welcome back to Citizen FM 93.7. And what we have been discussing so far is Quranology. Yeah, Quranology. May Allah make it easy for us. That's what we have been discussing so far, mashallah. And if you want to be part of this program, you can call 090 32 22 9797. Again, 090 32 22 9797. You can equally call 080 82 22 2037. Let me call that again. 080 82 22 2037. And lastly, you can equally call this number 081 82 22 2205. That is the numbers to call, inshallah, if you want to be part of this program. May Allah make it easy for each and every one of us. What we are discussing is Quranology, living by the Quran, telling you that this is how to live. When you study the Quran, you get to live by the Quran. That is the only way to go. If you live by any other thing aside from the Quran, then you see, when you are not living according to how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say you should live, then you can see that you don't have the manual of life. The manual of life is the Quran, is the book of Allah. So when you don't have that manual, how will you be able to live a peaceful life? So but everybody wants to live a happy life, want to live a peaceful life, want to live a life of happiness, of tranquility, of ataraxia, of enjoyment, comfortable life, all those things. But most times we just think until when you have money, until when you have a big house, but it starts from living the Quran. So when you start living the Quran, all other things will start falling in place. And that is why we try as much as possible to say, okay, let's even look at Quranology. Let's study it together. Let's study it together so that you can see one thing or the other that the Quran is saying, inshallah. All right, if you want to be part of this program, you can call 090-3222-9797, or you can equally call 080-8222-2037. Yes, or you call 081-8222-2205. That is the numbers to call. All right, so let's still continue looking at other surah of the Quran. Let's look at other surah of the Quran. Let's go to Quran chapter 3. Let's go to Quran chapter 3 now and see what again we can look at here. Surah Imran. Okay, look at what Allah said in this surah. Quran chapter 3, ayah 103. Quran chapter 3, ayah 103. Allah said, do not be divided. Do not be divided. You can see the way we are trying to divide ourselves, see division here and there. It's also causing so many hulabalu because you want to divide yourself on region ground, you want to divide yourself on political ground, you want to divide yourself on regional ground, you want to divide yourself on tribal ground. So many instances, even within the religion, there is division. Fa'uzbillahi min zalik. Look at Quran chapter 3, ayah 103. Study it very well and live by the Quran. So look at this one again. Quran talked about in Quran chapter 3, ayah 134. Quran 3, ayah 134, you see Allah is saying you should restrict anger. Restrict anger. You see, this restriction, it means that you can be angry, but the power of restricting anger is that power of a believer. Is the power of overcoming your anger is the power of the believer. That is the emotional intelligence that a believer is supposed to have so that you can live a peaceful life. The Prophet ﷺ let us understand. When the Prophet ﷺ said, you are not powerful. He said, powerful if you try as much as possible, to wrestle with your brother and you win him. He said, you're not the powerful one. Laysa shadidu man galaba nas. He said, innama shadidu man galaba nafsi indal gadab. You are not the most powerful person if you wrestle and win. No. He said the most powerful person is that person that is able to restrain his anger. You have anger and you restrain your anger. Quran is telling you that restrain your anger. Quran chapter 3, ayah 134. This is how to study the Quran. You see, the Quran has talked about emotional intelligence, and that is what it means there. When you look again in Surah Quran chapter 3, ayah 159, Allah is also letting us understand here again that do not speak rudely. Do not do what? Speak rudely. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. You don't speak rudely to people. You speak politely. You talk politely. You talk with these magic words. They use this magic word for us. Hey, kindly, please, use those magic words when you talk to people, and you talk politely. When you talk and other people are at ease, you talk and people are happy, you talk and people feel that you are there. That is what makes you a Muslim. That is what makes you, that's what tells us that you are living the Quran. Not just because you are this, you just talk to anybody, you talk politely. Look at Quran chapter 3, ayah 159. You see, you don't talk even to your parents, you don't talk to them like that. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا إِمَّا يَبْلُغَنَّ عِندَكَ الْكِبَرَ أَحَدُهُمَا أَوْ كِلَاهُمَا وَلَا تَقُل لَّهُمَا أُفٍّ. You see, you don't talk rudely to your parents. You don't talk angrily to your parents. You don't share your parents. This is what the Quran is letting us understand. So we should try as much as possible, study so that we can know how to live with one another. Okay, let's look at this Quran chapter 3, ayah 191. This one says, think deeply about the wonders and creation of this universe. Allah is telling us that we should think. In so many places, Allah is asking, Afala ta'qilun? Can't you think? Can't you think? Can't you regurgitate? Can't you reason? This is where Allah says, Allah is saying that Quran chapter 3, ayah 195, he's saying that let's think, ayah 191, he says you should think deeply about the creation of the earth, the heaven and earth. Think deeply about the creation of the heaven and earth, the wonders that Allah is doing. Look at the systemic way, the systemic way, the way the world is created itself. Is it the circumnavigation of the earth you want to talk about, or the systematic way in which the day and night, is taking over one another? Or you want to talk about the way the sun and the moon are taking off one another? Or you want to talk about the rain that Allah is pouring from up? La ilaha illallah. Look at that wonder of that rain that is pouring. It is this rain that will pour on top of your grain. It will now make your farmland grow. Those green, la ilaha illallah. What is in that magic? What is in that water? Those are the wonders of creation of Allah. What is in that water that is coming? You see, when you wet a grain, that is your vegetables and things, and when it is the rain that wet it, you even see there are two different things. Yes, it is still that water, but there are two different things. That's another power of the rain. May Allah make it easy for Allah. Say think deeply, and that is dhikr. That is thinking about Allah often, and His creation. May Allah make it easy for each and every one of us. If we go to Surah Nisa, okay, before we go there again, let's see if we can still have one or two calls. The number to call still remains 090-3222-9797. If you want to be part of this program, you can equally call 080-8222-2037. Yes, you can still call 081-8222-2205. If you want to be part of this program, you can call in, ask one or two questions. You can call in to ask for clarification. You can call in for an observation. You can call in if you have comment. You can equally call in to do that. May Allah make it easy for each and every one of us. MashaAllah. Okay, let's look at another one. Okay, look at Quran chapter 4, ayah 7. Quran chapter 4, ayah 7. We are in Surah Nisa now. Quran chapter 4, ayah 7. Allah is saying that women also have right for inheritance. You see this? Women has right for inheritance. So in Islam, women have right for inheritance. You don't say, their father is dead, so it's only the men that will share the inheritance. Quran chapter 4, ayah 7, let us understand that women can do that. Yeah, if you look at Quran chapter 4, ayah 10, it's also talking about property of orphan. You see, you don't just take their property like that. Protect it, as we said the other time. Yeah, do not marry those in your blood relation. This is marriage now. Quran chapter 4, ayah 23. Some people don't even know who to marry and who not to marry. There's this one they call, is it incest? Yes, it's so it goes around us today. We see that it's really happening, and some people can still bent on that and say, this is who I want to marry. Quran has told us not to do that. Quran also let us understand that do not consume one another's wealth unjustly. You see, you don't take other people's things unjustly. That is where corruption comes in again. La ilaha illallah. Quran chapter 4, ayah 204, ayah 29. Quran chapter 4, ayah 29. That is what is telling us that we should not do. May Allah make it easy for us. Quran also tells us that we should be good to one another. Quran chapter 4, ayah 36. That we should be good to one another. Also say that we should not envy one another. Quran chapter 4, ayah 54. This negative envy. Because of envy, so many things has really happened, and the Quran is letting us understand that we should not do that. Quran chapter 4, ayah 92. Look at this one. Do not kill each other. Do not kill each other. La ilaha illallah. This killing that is going around here and there. Everybody is la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Do not kill each other. Quran chapter 4, ayah 92. Let us understand that. It's also saying in Quran chapter 4, ayah 135, which says, stand out firmly for justice. So always stand for justice. This aluta continua victoria asata. If it is on just purpose, mashallah, may Allah make it easy for us, each and every one of us. The numbers to call still remain 090-3222-9797. If you want to be part of this program, you can call in and ask one or two questions. Call in for clarification, observation, or if you have comment, you can call in to do that. You can equally call this number again, 080-8222-2037, or you call 081-8222-2205. Mashallah, those are the numbers to call. You see, now the Quran also tells us to be just. Yes, it also tells us to be just in Quran chapter 5, ayah 8. Yes, it says you should be just. So you should be just. And here again, when you look at Quran chapter 5, ayah 90, when it says you should avoid intoxicant and alcohol. This is where Allah is saying that don't take alcohol. When you start, that ayah also talks about gambling. Do not gamble. Do not gamble. See what gambling has taken some people. Some people gambling here. They do gambling here. They do gambling. Quran has told us not to gamble. I have told you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one talking. And if Allah says this, you don't have any other idea. And that is how to live. When you live by the Quran, you understand that is what it takes. Okay, we have a call here. Assalamu alaikum.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Moses calling from Makata.
Okay, Mr. Moses. Good afternoon.
I want to talk about more about blasphemy.
About blasphemy?
Yes.
Okay.
What is when somebody criticize Muhammad, what is the consequence?
Yeah, when you look at Quran chapter 6, ayah 108. Quran chapter 6, ayah 108. The Quran says...
Let me ask you a second question before you tell me. I don't have to know.
Okay.
Second, as human beings, do we have right to judge our fellow human beings? We should leave the fight for God.
Okay, thank you. We should leave it for God. We are to leave it for God. We don't have the power to do anything. We should leave it for God. But when God says, do not insult other deities, other people's God, other people do not insult them. You can see that. That's where the Quran chapter 6, ayah 108 is telling us. So, and the other question is, you leave things for God. You don't take charge of things that you're supposed to, something that you don't even have the power. It's only God that rewards and is the one that punishes. May Allah make it easy for each and every one of us. So, now this ayah again, Quran chapter 6, ayah 152. It says, don't reduce weight or measure to cheat people. Don't reduce weight or measure to cheat people. Quran chapter 6, ayah 152. You can see that now. You can see the way they do in so many places where they sell things. I don't want to mention names of places they sell things. Yeah, and people in the market who do that, one way or the other, they know how to manipulate the measure, and before you know it, you measure 4 mudu is 2 mudu or 3 mudu. Fa'uz billahi min zalik. The Quran has warned us, and that is how to study the Quran. So, and that's a very beautiful question that Mr. Moses also asked there. that is talking about other people's religion. That is how you respect them. You see, when you understand other people's religion, you give respect to them, and they respect your own religion as well. And we don't need to fight. We don't need to kill one another, as the Quran just told us. The numbers to call, see if you want to be part of this program, still remain 090-3222-9797, or you call 080-8222-2037. You can equally call 081-8222-2205. What we are talking about is QURANOLOGY. That is the study of the Quran. We believe that if you study the Quran, you will understand Allah more. You will understand how to live with people that we are together. May Allah make it easy for us. Assalamu alaikum. Hello? 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 Okay, maybe we lost that call there. You can call us back if and when you can. The number still remains 090-3222-9797. Okay, I think I picked this call the other time. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. What's the name?
Harirat.
Okay, you're welcome, Ayrat.
Thank you.
Yeah. What do you have for us?
I enjoy your program, mashallah. Thank you.
All right, mashallah. It's a pleasure. I appreciate your call.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Thank you. All right. Okay. Mashallah, I think we still have a few more minutes. Let's see if we can get like one or two more calls. We can call it a day. The number still remains 090-3222-9797, or you call 080-8222-2037. You can equally call 081-8222-2205. Those are the numbers to call. And we are trying to say QURANOLOGY is just the study of the Quran. When you study the Quran, you live the Quran. Yes, you study the Quran, you live the Quran. Yeah, may Allah make it easy for us. Yeah, let's look at this one. The Quran is talking about okay, Quran chapter 7, ayah 199. Quran 7, ayah 199 is talking about forgive others for their mistakes. Do you see this again? Forgive others for their mistakes. If Mr. Moses is still listening to me, I think this one will also be something that you want to check on your own again. Forgive others for their mistakes. You see, mistakes happen, and when you know that it's a mistake, you see, sometimes we just have to read body language and understand, is this person intentionally doing what he's doing, or is it a mistake? When you understand that it's a mistake, Allah says forgive for their mistakes. Even in the workplace, mistakenly you did this one, mistakenly something happened, mistakenly, and you don't want to be punished for your mistake. This. So as a Muslim, you should understand that this is a mistake. It's okay. Oh, you just come mistakenly hit your car. Oh, we must go to panel beater today, and it's my panel beater that you must go to him, and it must this. Then you start speaking English. This is a mistake. Allah said forgive others for what? For their mistakes. May Allah make it easy for us. Yes, still Quran chapter 7, Surah Al-Araf, Quran chapter 7, ayah 13. This one is saying that do not be arrogant. Do not be arrogant. Yes, do not be arrogant. Again, in Quran chapter 7, ayah 31, that one is talking about eat, drink, but what? But don't be excessive. Don't be excessive in your drinking, in your eating, in anything that is excess, it's not good. Look at what the Quran is telling us. The Quran chapter 7, ayah 31. Ayah 31. Yeah, let's see one more call. 090-3222-9797. Or you call 080-8222-2037, or you call 081-8222-2205. Those are the numbers to call, and I think we have just 1 more minute to leave the studio. Inshallah, if there is no any other call, what we are trying to let us understand is to read the Quran, is to study the Quran, and do what? And live the Quran. I think I still have 1 more call here. Let me take this before we go. Hello. Okay, Mr. Moses, you're welcome back. I think I referred to you in one of the ayah here.
I enjoy your answer.
Oh, thank you, sir.
But my problem is this thing you are teaching. Are they keeping the Sokoto, Kanu, Katsina style? Are they keeping them?
It's the same Quran that we are all reading. I say it's the same Quran that we are reading. Definitely they will be teaching us. You see, that's why, sometimes it is them, not the religion. You know, the religion on its own is there. The people that are worshipping the religion are also different. So that's why we are saying they should marry the religion with what they do, other than just doing what they do without what the religion is saying. As I said earlier on, okay, Mr. Moses has gone. As I said earlier on, when Yusuf Islam accepted Islam, he said, thank God that he understands Islam before the Muslim. Thank God I study Quran before I know the Muslim. You can see, he started seeing sometimes, one way or the other, he started seeing some people calling themselves Muslims and still seeing one or two, fall back. Then he said, if it is those people that I'm seeing before I accepted Islam, I wouldn't have accepted Islam. But thank God I study it. And that is why it is good to study the Quran, know Allah, then you live by the Quran. That is the only way we can have peace. People are human beings, and that is why you don't blame the car, you blame the driver. You see, you don't blame Islam, you blame the Muslims that are one way or the other doing it wrong. May Allah make it easy for us. We cannot be perfect in all aspects. Those of us that are making mistake, that is why we do what? Reminder. فَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَ تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Allah said we should just remind ourselves, so that this reminder, one way or the other, it will make sense for some people. May Allah make it easy for us. Next week is going to be another meeting. Yes, we're going to call back here next week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
One who has power over all. Give thanks to Allah for the moon and the stars. Praise Him all day for what is and what was. Take hold of your iman. Don't give in to shaitan. Oh, you who believe, please give thanks to Allah. Allah.
Wake up. Reach